Hey friends, so I just wanted to take a few minutes to kind of let you all know what is going on right now. I'm currently outside of my house because I don't want my kids to hear, and I definitely don't want my mother-in-law to hear. I'm just trying to be as sensitive as I can and protecting my children as much as I can. So most of you know I mentioned a family emergency that we have been dealing with, and I just kind of wanted to let y'all know what was going on, so you have an understanding if I go MIA for a few days, weeks, and especially those of you who have placed an order or who were wanting to place an order, you had a heads up. I feel absolutely horrible for those of you who have placed orders and are still waiting. Doing my absolute best to fill these orders and get them out. But anybody that places an order from the time this video goes live, well, I mean from here right now, my time, the time I'm filming this video, which is Tuesday afternoon. I think it's Tuesday. I'm sorry. Tuesday afternoon. So basically, if anybody who places an order from Tuesday afternoon / evening on, please just be aware that I'm going to try my hardest, but your order might not get filled and shipped in the time frame that is indicated in the listing. If you have already placed an order prior to Tuesday afternoon, evening, just know that I am prioritizing your orders, focusing so hard on getting them filled and out ASAP. I know there are some of y'all who have been waiting probably a week or two now, and I'm so sorry. But that is the reason I am making this video, because I want to be transparent with you guys as much as I possibly can without, giving away our personal information, who we are and where we live and things like that, just for the protection of our kids and our home. And so again, like I said, to let y'all know what was going on, and also is to, just bring awareness to situations like this. I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet as possible. So about 8 or 9 years ago, my mother-in-law had a mental breakdown. She just got to the point where she was doing things that weren't making sense, and anything she said didn't make sense. It was rough. And she had to go to a mental facility and to get treatment and to get better, and she did. Over the past couple of years, it's been over a year, from what my husband and I have documented. We know for a fact it's been 1 year that we have been dealing with this, but I know we don't have documentation showing that it's been over a year, but we know that it's been over a year. That a couple of years ago, she started saying things that were kind of confusing, showing signs, I guess you could say, that she was, her mind was slipping again. Now, my mother-in-law is diagnosed with a couple of mental disorders, but nothing to the point where she couldn't live on her own and probably care for herself, function daily, and be okay. About a month ago, it got significantly worse. Over the last year, you could see that it was progressively worsening. These bouts of confusion were starting to happen more often, and were more elaborate, I guess you could say. And then about a month ago, it's the scariest thing. A month ago, it just was like, whoa, what happened? The things that she was saying and doing were just definitely okay, yes, we need to get you help ASAP. My brother got his siblings involved, and they came, and we got a game plan in place to get her, because my husband and I tried talking to her to get her to go see her psychiatrist and different things and checking on her medications, and she wasn't being productive on that end. And so my husband was like, okay, we definitely need to get her involved, to get the siblings involved. So the siblings got involved, and it was like, I want to say almost a little over a week ago. It was like one night she went to bed and, she was having trouble, but was doing things or saying things that weren't making any sense. But overall, we could carry on a conversation with her and she understand, and the things she was saying, we know were true. And then she woke up the next morning and it's like the light switch was turned off. It has gotten to the point to where absolutely nothing my mother-in-law says makes any sense. And she lives with us. Sorry, I did not make that clear. She does live with my husband and I and our family. The last 2 mornings, she has woke up in the morning and started and opened her bedroom door and was hollering for my husband's nephew. My nephew, but it's my husband's brother's son. And they live hours away. We haven't seen him since Christmas. My husband has to tell her to go to bed. My husband has to tell her why she has to go to bed. My husband has to remind her to eat. Earlier today, she was calling for my daughter. I got up because I've told my kids, if Nana asks you to do anything, just, tell her, hold on and come tell mom or dad. And she was in the living room and I was in the office and I heard her hollering for my daughter. And I got up and I was like, what's the matter, Nana? What do you need? And she goes, well, I was calling for Jaylee to come fix my shoe. And she had slip-on shoes and they were perfectly fine. And I was like, well, your shoe looks okay. She goes, yeah, I fixed it. It's like, okay. I told her, I was like, well, but besides, my daughter was on the Oculus. And I said, well, Nana, Jaylee's on the Oculus. So if you need something, call me. As soon as I got back to the office, I heard her calling my daughter again. And I got up and I was like, Nana, what do you need? Jaylee's on the Oculus. And she goes, well, I was just going to tell her that she can go now. I said, where, Nana? She goes, go with Jade, which is one of my sons. And I was like, okay, Nana. I said, well, Jaylee's on the Oculus. And she's like, okay. I said, if you need anything, call me. Went back to the office. As soon as I got to the office, she starts calling for my son, Jade. And I get up and I said, hi, Jade. I said, Jade, I said, Nana, what do you need? Why are you calling Jade? And she goes, I don't know. I just needed him. And I was like, well, what do you need? What can I help you with? Jade's not here. He was actually outside playing with the neighborhood kids. And she goes, oh, nothing. It's okay. I was like, okay, Nana. I was like, you got to stop calling for the kids. If you need something, call me. Okay, I understand. So I had went outside to find my husband. And as soon as I shut the front door, I hear her calling, Kim. And I opened the door and I said, yes, Nana. She goes, I'm ready for my strawberry shake. I said, Nana, there is no strawberry shake. Okay, I understand. It's like everything that comes out of her mouth, it's not real. It's not true. It's what her mind is perceiving her to see or think. And so basically it's like taking care of another child, another child that's young. I use the reference of like a 2 to a 5-year-old. So, my husband has to remind her to take a shower. It's very, very scary. So she saw the neurologist today. We've taken her to the emergency room when this first started happening. She's had lots of tests done. She has a psychiatrist appointment next week. The family is involved. She's getting the proper, she's under 24-hour supervision. She's getting taken care of. My kids are in no way, shape, or form in harm's way. If they are, we already have a plan. If things get to the point where we are concerned for their well-being, my kids, we tell them that Nana is sick right now. And that's why she's not making any sense. And that we have doctor's appointments set up to get her help. That's what my kids know. If there comes a time where we're starting to be concerned for their well-being, then we already have a plan in place to remove them from the situation. So I don't want anybody to think that, anything can happen to any of us. It's my mother-in-law is being, we have, after seeing the neurologist today, we have appointments in place for her to be screened. She has an MRI coming up, but we are leaning into dementia. So that is where we're at. With that being said, with the kids being home right now, I cannot leave them. I have to stay in the same area that my children are, meaning the living room. Our living room, dining room, kitchen is just all an open area. So as long as I'm in one of those areas, I can see my children and be near my children at all times. And I'm close to my mother-in-law's room to where if she needs me or, anything, I'm there to protect her, to protect myself, to protect my children, to take care of her, take care of my kids. So with that being said, it's very hard for me to be able to focus on orders. When my husband gets home from work, he takes over, and that's about the time that I am able to go to the office and actually spend more than a couple of minutes, doing something. Because if I'm in the office and I hear a noise or something, I have to leave to check what's that noise, because I just want to make sure that, my kids everybody's being okay. And I'm trying to protect my kids from seeing her like this as much as possible, because I don't want them to remember their Nana this way, because this is not her. If ultimately she has dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But we don't know what is going on. And our hope and prayer is that it's something that, can be fixed. So I just wanted to let y'all know what was going on, so you guys have kind of the understanding of the family emergency that we are dealing with. And that, as much as I would love for you, if you were planning on placing an order, as much as I would love and appreciate that order, I completely understand if you need to wait on placing the order until things kind of get straightened out here at the house and I can focus more on filling your orders. I'm not saying that if you place an order that I won't be able to fill it and get it out within the time indicated in the listing. I'm just saying, under the circumstances, I can't guarantee that. So for those of you that have orders that you're waiting on still, I just beg for your patience at this moment. I am doing the best that I can, and it's so hard right now because I don't know at times what is the best. What is the best for me? What is the best for my husband? What is the best for my children? What is the best for my mother-in-law? This is such unknown territory, and it tears me up. Seeing my husband go through this, seeing his mother the way she is, and the fear in his eyes, and it's really rough. So, and the awareness that I was talking about is that, I found out that in the elderly, there's lots of things that can cause them to be dehydrated. Certain medications can cause them to be dehydrated, and dehydration can lead to severe confusion, dementia-like symptoms in the elderly. Urinary tract infections in the in the elderly can lead to severe confusion and dementia-like characteristics. I never knew that. That is something new that I have learned through all of this. So I just wanted to bring awareness to that, if you're a parent or, if you're dealing with somebody who is older, my mother-in-law is 73, and they start, showing some confusing traits or whatever, just keep these things in mind. And, the one thing I say is just be patient. Just try. It's hard to remember, especially when they start doing these things, when you start seeing these signs. It's hard to remember that that's not them. And therefore, you don't think about that when they start doing this, and it allows you get frustrated, or they say something ugly. Like my mother-in-law She's a godly woman, a teacher for 32 years for second grade. And when this all first went down, it was hard for us to remember that it wasn't her. And my husband was trying to go over her medications with her. They were both getting frustrated. And she screams at the top of her lungs at him, B-I-T-C-H. My mother-in-law does not even say D-A-M-N or S-H-I-T. I don't want to say those words on the video, but, you know, my mother-in-law doesn't even say those. But to hear her scream that at my husband at the top of her lungs, you know, it was just hard to remember that's not her. So that's all I wanted to say, and I just wanted to let y'all know what was going on. And, you know, prayers are greatly appreciated. I will definitely keep y'all informed as, you know, things go by, but just be patient with me, please.